Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial, we're going to do a little something different. Today's tutorial is just going to be this block. I needed a dust cover for my printer and my Cricut, and I thought, well, I'm going to see if I can't find a pretty block I like. And I was scanning the internet for pictures of these blocks, and I found this one, and I thought, well, I can make that, no problem at all. And so I just looked at the picture and came up with my pattern, with this pattern. It's super easy to make. You only need 2 colors. Now, if you, like I tell you guys at the end of the video too, but if you want to make the little dust cover I make, like you saw in the thumbnail, I made 36 of these, and then I just sandwiched them together, and then through the back loop of the double crochet on the top and the bottom square, using the purple, I just slip stitched them all together and hit them with a little bit of steam, did a double crochet border all the way around, and called it good. So, what are you going to need? You are going to need a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and 2 colors of yarn. Now, I was not going to use white for this tutorial, but I decided that I really liked my dust cover, and I thought, you know, if I ever get to the point to where I would actually like to turn that into a baby blanket, because it's a pretty good size. I say like a toddler size blanket. I don't want to have just one random block, right? So I was like, forget it, I'll just use white again, and I hate using white for my tutorials because the white gets blown out in the video, and I don't like that. But this block measures about 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I mean, by the time I get it sewn together and get it blocked, I can get it right at 50-50 or 50-50, 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Close enough. Okay. Alright, so the yarn I used this. Now I have had this in my closet, and I can just kind of use it as scrap yarn. I got this from a rummage sale one time, and she had, you know, like those zip bags, those big zip bags that you get your bed sets in, like from Walmart, those big plastic. So like she had one of those bags full of these, and I decided to buy it. So I have a bunch of these, but it's just a 4-way. This is actually, it's polyester. Yeah, type yarn. I think that's up by Chicago. I don't see what it's made out of. Did I miss it? Oh, right there. Made with 100% DuPont Orlon. I don't know. Anyway, I used this, and then I just used a Red Heart Super Saver White. Nothing fancy. But if you do make the dust cover you saw in the thumbnail, you will need 2 skeins of white. This is what I have left over from 1. Or, I mean 2. That's my second skein. Okay, so, also, I want to mention, in the video I messed up. And I tell you I messed up. But what we do is we work this center circle, okay? And then we weave in our ends. And then we work this the 3 rounds of white square. The part I messed up is do not weave in your ends, okay? Because up here, if you can see that one spot of purple, right? Right there is my slip knot. I forgot that when I made those, I use that tail. I keep the tail to the front of the work, okay? And then I work that last row. And then what I do is I take that tail and run it through these double crochets, and then weave in the white in the back. And that's what I use to cover that one little spot right there, because that spot, that's the only spot that's messed up, right, around this last round. That's because that's where the slip stitch is from the 4th round, like 1 2 3 4. So that slip stitch right there, that's the only reason that's there, is because that slip stitch. So that tail is what I use to hide that purple tail. So don't weave in your tail, wait till you get that last round done, then take that tail and run it through the 2 stitches so it covers the purple, bring it to the back, and then weave it in through your white yarn, okay? Alright, so get your stuff together and we will make this little block. Okay, to get started, we are going to start with our, I'm going to call the purple our secondary color because a big majority of that block is white, and I'm going to consider that the main color. So I'm going to start with my secondary color. I'm going to get a long enough tail so I can weave in my ends, and then I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook. Just like that. We're going to start with chaining 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch back to that first chain, just like that, and I kind of wiggle my fingers in there to get her so I don't lose my ring. Slip stitch and oops, chain 1. I'm going to get that tail out of the way, and I'm going to pull that just a tad bit just to close up that slip knot, okay? Alright, now while I work over my tail, we're going to work 16 double crochet back into the ring. So yarn over, go right in there. I'm over my tail. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, I'm not going to make you guys watch me do all 16. I'll be right back. Alright, I have done my 16 double crochet into the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Alright, so now we are going to slip stitch into that very first double crochet right there. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and weave in my ends. So for this first one, I'm going to go ahead and pull it. Now I can see that it's coming out of the ring right there, so I can tell that this tail goes like this. So by me pulling it, it's going to close it up, but it didn't close it all the way, right? So to finish closing it up, we just take our tail and run it around the ring again. So I'm going to go in, come out, go back in, and come out. And now it doesn't have to be completely all the way around, just as best you can, and then pull it tight and it'll close up that ring. And now to lock it down, I'm not going to go right back in where I came out. I'm going to come out, I'll come away from it just a little bit and go back in and come out. And pull. And I'm going to do it one more time, coming back the way I started. So we came around this way, come back this way to lock it, but don't go back in where you started or where you came out. Now I'm going to go back and there. That locks that tail down. That keeps that tail from wiggling out by itself. Now if somebody was really adamant about getting that tail out, and you could sit down and pick that tail out. I don't advise it, but okay, so now this tail, I'm going to get that loaded on my needle. And I got the back of my circle facing me, and I am just going to run it through some stitches. Now I don't want to go through the top of my stitches because I don't want to distort them any more than it already is with this slip stitch. So I'm just going to bring it to the back, run it through some of these stitches. And now, if you notice, see how it's not quite straight a circle, how like right here, how it's kind of flat. So if I pull that, look what that does to the top. I don't want that. So when you run it through there, give it a little bit of a tug so it can still keep its shape. and then run your needle through some legs of the double crochet, doesn't matter which ones, and just just pull it to where it's straight, it's not tight. I still got my shape, and now I'm going to lock it back down. I'm going to go back the way I came, but I'm not going to go right through the same spot. I'm going to grab a little more, or skip a few, I should say, strands of the yarn. And now it locked it down. I'm going to do it one more time. There. Alright, now that is not going to come out. Okay, so moving on, let's grab our white, or our main color. And like I said at the beginning, I apologize that I stuck with the white again. It's just, the dust cover is so pretty. I thought, you know, if I decide to make a baby blanket out of it, and then I wanted to do the matching pillow, I'd have a block ready for it. Anyway, get a slip knot on your hook and make sure you got enough tail to weave in your end. And now I'm just going to go right back in where I slip stitched. And the reason I choose to do that is just because it's I like to get it done now instead of when I'm in the middle of working. So I'm going to grab that slip knot, and then the stitch it's into. So right there's a slip knot. Right here's the top of the double crochet. I'm just going to grab that slip knot and slide it to the back of the top of that double. So my double crochet right here sticks out a little bit more. And now I'm going to go right in there and slip stitch. Now I'm going to pull that tail to tighten up that slip stitch and chain one. Now I'm going to double crochet right back into there. Fuzzy. And double crochet into the next 2 doubles. Into that next double, we're going to work a corner. And our corner is 2 double. Chain 2. And go right back in there with 2 more double. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3 double crochet, corner. So, and that's what we're going to continue around. 3 double, corner, 3 double, corner, 3 double, corner. Alright, so we got our first corner, so now we need 1, 2, 3 double. So the next double crochet gets our corner, which is the 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. I am going to pause this and see what Fuzzy Butt's problem is. I'll be right back. Okay. It was nothing. He's just sitting there meowing at me. Alright, so back to this. We've worked 1, 2, 3 double. So the next double crochet is going to get our corner. 2 double. Chain 2, and right back in there with 2 more double. Alright, now we double crochet into the next 3. Into the next, we work our corner. 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. 1, 2, chain 2, scooch that, 2 double. Alright, now we're going to double crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so right there is our very last double crochet, and there's our slip knot when we start. Slip stitch from where we started. So into that last double, we work our corner. 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. round 2. Alright, now we're going to slip stitch to the first, which if I get it in here and it's nice and zoomed in, right there is the slip knot, here is the chain 1, and there is that first double crochet right in there, and that's where we're going to slip stitch. Alright, so for round 3, well, and I should say round 4, what we're going to do, chain 1, double crochet right back into that double crochet you just slip stitched into, and then double crochet into each double crochet until you get to your chain 2 corner. So this is the exact same thing for round 4 too. The only difference is round 4 you're going to have 2 more double crochets, or 1, whichever, than round 3. Alright, double into each double until your chain 2. Into your chain 2, work your 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. 1, 2, chain 2, rotate it, 2 double. Double into each double until your chain 2 corner. Into your chain 2 corner, work your 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Double into each double until your next chain 2. Repeat that around, and I'm gonna go ahead and work this, and then I'll come back when I've made it all the way around, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm coming around. I'm at that last chain 2 corner, so I'm going to work my 2 double, chain 2, go back in there for 2 double. Alright, and I have 2 double crochets left, of round 3. Alright, now I'm going to slip stitch to that first double, which you can see the top of it right there. I'm going to slip stitch into there, and that's the end of round 3. So round 4, we chain 1, double crochet right back into that same double crochet we slip stitched into. Alright, now just double into each double, until your chain 2 corner. Dang it. Grr. Alright, so now I'm to the chain 2 corner. So into that corner again, I'm going to work the 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Chain 2, back in there with 2 double. And now I'm just going to repeat double into each double until the chain 2, into the chain 2, work my 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Repeat that around, and I will come back when when I've made it around, okay? I will be right back. Okay, I've made it around. I worked that last corner, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochet left. So I'm going to work 1 double into each of those, and then slip stitch to the very first double, which is right there. Slip stitch into there, chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're gonna cut. Okay, so now I'm gonna just go ahead and weave in these ends. Nothing fancy. Take them through one way, skip, take them through the other way, skip, skip a little, run it through the last part, and cut. Don't run this through the top of the double crochet, just bring it straight to the back and run it down the stitch and then through some legs. Don't let it get distorted. Skip some stitches or some threads of the yarn. Alright, and cut. Okay, so now we are going to work the color changing last row, and we are going to learn, or I'm going to show you guys how I carry the color around. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set my purple yarn, I'm going to set it to my left, and then my white I'm going to set to my right. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to start with our purple. Well, our secondary color. And we're going to get a slip knot on our hook. And I'm going to attach into any chain 2. Doesn't matter which one. Right into that chain 2 space with a slip stitch. Chain 1. Pull your tail so it tightens that slip stitch up. Slide that all the way to the right. Alright, now I'm going to work my corner stitches just like we have through the whole pattern. And I'm going to work over my tail too. So 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Alright, now we're going to work a double crochet into the next 4. So make sure you don't skip the one that we halfway have covered, this double crochet right here. So if you give this just a little bit of a tug, you can see the top of that double pops out. And I'm trying to think of how to word this. So your double crochet, or any stitch, right? Any stitch that you have, and for today's purposes, the double crochet, the top of your double crochet is never directly above it never directly sets right on top of your post, right? It's off to the right just a tad bit. Okay, so like on a single crochet, you can't even tell, but it is slightly to the right. Now half double crochet, it is way off to the right of the post, and it's easy to get confused with half double crochets, but with double crochets it's a little easier to tell. But when you're working around and you get to these corner stitches and you don't pay attention of what you've covered when you work your corners, you're going to skip that first double crochet, and we don't want that. So make sure you slide it over just a little bit, and you'll see the top of that double crochet pop out. Okay? See it right there to the right just a tad. Like here's the post of the double. I'm laying my needle right on it. And then right there is the top. Okay? So don't skip that double. So we should have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start the 5th, but we're not going to finish it. So we're going to yarn over, go into the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. And we're going to stop. And I'm going to set that down. And I'm going to grab my white. And I'm going to pull out a little bit of a tail so I have enough to weave in. And then I'm just going to let it lay over my pointer finger. I'm going to pick up my work, loop that on my hook, and I'm holding everything, and I'm going to pull through to finish that 5th stitch. Now I'm going to take this purple and pull it just a little bit so it tightens down on that white, And get the working yarn on my finger, which is the white now. And now with this hand, I'm just holding the tail out of the way. Just getting it out of my way. Okay, so it's to the back now. It's going to stay there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to double crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets. We're going to work a full double. But what we're going to do is work over this purple tail. Right there, we're going to work over that. And the trick to do that to where it's not showing, like, let me get my dust cover to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so you see, this is the row round that we're working on right now, and that we're going to be hiding that purple yarn. So the purple yarn is actually running right through here, but on the back, obviously. But you can't see it, right? If it focused, you can't see it that well. Right through here. So what I do, get the working yarn back on my finger, pull that white tail out of the way, and then what I do is I hold this purple tail. Let me try to. I'm trying to think of how the best way to show you. I'm going to go ahead and work my double. The best way that I found to do it is hold that purple tail, and I should have paid attention and not started this on the side that has the slip knot on it right there. But I hold that tail to where it runs right below the top of the double crochet. As far down as I can get it, don't focus on my hand, right around in here. So as far down as I can go and still work the double crochet around it. So since I'm at that slip knot, I'm going to pinch that slip knot and the double crochet that it's in. I'm just going to pull it to the side a little bit. I'm going to hold this tail real low on the back. Go in, make sure I'm still catching it. That wasn't very pretty. Just hold it back. Oh. I know what I did. I shouldn't have weaved that tail in, dang it. Because I forgot, that tail is what I loop over, I bring back in. So like if I wouldn't have weaved in that tail, that tail, if I wouldn't have weaved it in, it would have been laying, it would have been laying like this. And then I forgot, what I do is take that tail, weave it to the back, and cover up that. I'll make a note at the beginning of the tutorial, don't weave in your tail until after you get your purple done. Sorry, I completely forgot about that. Alright, so we just continue with our white. We already did 2, we need 4. So we have 3 and 4. Now you see how you can't see it as much as you could right there? I'm sorry, I completely forgot that. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing in the 5th one. And I'm still working over that tail. We're going to, or the same thing, we're going to start but not finish the double. So we're going to go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'm just going to drop my white to the back and pick up my purple And now I'm holding that white to keep it tight and pull the purple through. That sounded funny. Alright, and now I'm just going to double into each double, which should be 5 until we get to that chain 2. But we're going to work over our white tail, but we get kind of a break because you're not going to see the white. So I work 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I am to the corner and still working over my tail. 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Alright, now we just repeat what we just did. So still working over my tail, and don't forget to scooch that over so the top of that very first double crochet pops out right there. Double crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now into the 5th, we're going to start purple and finish with white. Drop the purple to the back. Pick up my white and hold that purple so it stays tight, and finish with white. And now it's gonna, what I tried to show you right here is what we're gonna do right here. Alright, so I'm holding that to the back as far as I can, and I'm gonna work 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Now you see how you can't see the purple? That's what I was trying to show you over here. So I'm sorry. I completely forgot about weaving in that tail. Okay, so for the 5th one, I'm going to start with white and finish with purple. Drop that to the back. Pick up my purple. Hold that white tight. And now double into the next 5. 2, and I'm working over that white tail. 3, 4, 5. Still working over my white tail. 2 double, chain 2, 2 double into the chain 2 space. 1, 2, chain 2, 2 double. Alright, now I'm going to work 4 full double, still working over my white tail. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now I'm going to start the 5th with purple and finish it with white. Pull through 2, let go of my white. Drop my purple, take my white, and then I'm just going to hold that purple so it's tight, and then I'm going to hold it like the best way I can explain it is the back loop right here of your double crochet. If you could hold that, like let's say my needle is the purple, if you could hold that right even with that back loop of your doubles, that's what helps it stay right in place. Okay, so finish that 5th. Alright, now we're going to work 4 full white, working over that purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, stop. Alright, so there's my 4 purple, so the 5th, or 4 white, so the 5th I'm going to start with purple. Oh, for Pete's sake. Start with white and finish with purple. So I'm going to drop it to the back, pick up my purple, hold that white, and finish that stitch with the purple. And now double crochet into the next 5, working over your white tail. into the chain 2 space with 2 double, chain 2, 2 double. Alright, still working over my white tail, double crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, now that 5th, I'm going to start with purple and finish with white. Stop. I'm going to drop my purple, keep him the white to the back. I'm going to pick up my white, but I'm going to still hold that purple so it stays tight, right like this. Finish that double, and then double into the next 4, working over the purple tail. 1, I shouldn't say tail, it's working yarn. 2, 3, 4, and then into the next I'm going to start with white and finish with purple. So drop my white to the back, pick up my purple, holding the white to keep it tight, and pull through. And now working over my white tail into the last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, slip stitch to our first double right there. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and cut. And then flip your block over and pick up your white working yarn and come up a little bit so you have enough to weave in, and cut your white off. Pull that out. Alright, now we finished the block and we are going to weave in the ends. And I want to show you guys, like, oh, excuse me. I have a rule of thumb when it comes to weaving in ends. I never weave in, oops, one color into another color. So I never weave purple through white or white through purple. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and cut because we worked over it when we started. Well, no, I'm not going to cut it yet. Whenever we first attached the purple and we worked over it with the 2 double, chain 2, 2 double, we worked over it right there. So I'm going to skip some strands and I'm going to insert and pick up and come back the opposite way so it locks that down. And then I'll cut that. Alright, now I'm just going to pick up this white strand. And like I said, I don't run white, I don't weave in tails of different colors into different colors. I weave in white into white, purple into purple. So with this white, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it down the post to this double crochet until I get to this corner and run it through the legs of those doubles. Just go right through that double. And remember, don't pull it too tight. And then I'm going to come through the legs. One direction, skip a few strands, back this direction, and cut. Alright, so this purple, I'm going to run it down the lip post of this double, and even though I still have the legs ran right, or I mean an end weaved in right there, I'm still going to go right back through there. It's not going to hurt anything. And bring it back. Right like that. And then this white, I'm going to bring it through this post, through the white stitches, down to this row of double crochet. So I'm going to go down another row and then run it through these legs. Just like that. And there is your square. So it's super easy. I mean, the hardest part of this block is obviously carrying that color change through. If you are interested in the little dust cover I made 36 of these. So 6 by 6. So it'll be 6 tall, 6 wide. And then I right sides together, sandwich them, and then back loop slip stitch all of them together, okay? So like I said, this tutorial was just for the block. I wanted to show you guys how I did this. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. In the description box, there's links to all kinds of social media platforms that I post onto if you guys want to follow me on whichever one you guys prefer. And if you make this or you make a project out of this block, take a picture and tag me in it on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, whatever. And that's it, guys. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's next from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.